Cameras on, and welcome to the Writer's Life, a place where you get the sights, sounds, smells, tastes of my particular Writer's Life, where you get the bloody truth about the Writer's Life, at least the way I see it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Punch the like button, tap the bell for notifications, so you don't miss out on one exciting fucking video, because they're so exciting. No guest today, you just get me on this Halloween. Beautiful Halloween, actually, the way I remember it as a kid. Cold, brisk, I should say, not cold, brisk, and just generally nice. Go to the store, vinzandri.com, www.vinzandri.com, for all your thriller needs. Now you can get book 1 and book 2 of American Crime Story in paper, if that's what you would like. Book 3 will be out in a couple, 3 days. Definitely going to be out for the weekend. And I'll highlight it this weekend. Probably put it up as a flash sale for the whole weekend. Get me on the hot new bestseller, or the hot new release bestseller list, whatever. With your help. And I think there's 2 more books, and then it will be combined into one big ass book. And we'll do audio for that too. So anyway, this project's been in the works for since COVID started. So a long time. Also, there's a new Dick Moonlight coming very soon. I the Judge. Mickey Spillane wrote I the Jury. That's what put him on the map. And so I wrote I the Judge. Get it? They put it to anyway. Anyway, I thought it was clever. I think it's clever. Anyway, whatever. So this thing I have, which I've been bitching about all week, what do I have? Now you try to pronounce this. It's called thrombocytopenia. Thrombocytopenia. Sounds like something you order in Italy. I'd like the insalata and the thrombocytopenia. And una birra, right? Anyway, it's not life-threatening. It's really a nothing thing. It's just you're not producing enough platelets for some stupid-ass reason. Could last for 3 or 4 weeks. Could last for 3 or 4 months. Before it'll go away on its own. Maybe when I see the doc in 10 days or whatever it's going to be, 11 days, 12 days, they might shoot me up with a steroid, which I hope they do. In the meantime, I'm taking plenty of iron, which seems to be helping a lot, because iron supports new blood growth and stuff like that. So anyway, I just got to wait it out. Kids get it. Adults get it. Sometimes you can have a chronic condition of it, like my dad eventually had, and you have to get shot up once a month. I hope that's not the case now. I hope that's down the road some. Because as you know, I like to travel and whatever. Anyway, nothing to worry about. It is what it is. I've probably had this in the past and just not even realized it. Just lived with it. But now, they can discover. The doctors can just discover every little tiny thing that's going on with your body. Every little thing. It's crazy. I remember the last time I had an MRI was a year and a half ago. A full MRI, because it was I don't want to call this a cancer scare. I sort of called it a cancer scare with my editor this morning, but it's really not. But in a way it is, because if worse come to worse, it could be the L word, but it's not. But I had one previously, a scare previously, where they found nodules on my lungs, and they thought it could potentially be lung cancer. Not only because I used to smoke, but because when I worked construction, my dad always insisted on putting me on the most disgusting, toxic jobs possible. He owned a commercial contracting company, which meant we worked at like chemical companies and paper mills and all these places where at the time you weren't required to wear a mask or anything like that. And my father was always big on like, like if we found asbestos or something like that, he'd be like, oh, like Vince will remove it, don't worry about it. Put it at the bottom of the dumpster. We'll cover it. Like Vince will remove it. Yeah. Thanks, Dad. So anyway, there was that scare. That was like a few years ago. But more recently during COVID, after I got COVID and then got the injections didn't do well for me. They actually fucked up my heart and the right ventricle. My left ventricle's already got problems, but my right ventricle just like it ballooned to like twice its normal size, and it also brought back nodules on my lungs, and they thought one of them might have been tumorous. So I had to go through that. I didn't even tell my mother about that one because that was a much bigger scare than this. In any case, I had to get several MRIs, and like the last one I got, I think I just got one. No, maybe I did. I think I did do 2 MRIs. Anyway, when everything, this went out for a period of like almost a year. And at the end of it, when I got the free and clear, they're like, okay, your lungs are clear now. Your heart's good again. It's back to normal. Like all that stuff. When finally everything, was back to normal, my cardiologist, she's like, I know you think I always find something. I know you think that. And I'm not doing it on purpose. But she said, tell me something. The analysts in the MRI lab were very concerned about something, about your left kidney. And I'm like, great. What's the problem now? And she's like, well, it's bleeding, or it was bleeding. And I'm like, uh-oh. She's like, but don't worry. It was external bleeding, which is no big deal. If it was internal bleeding, then you'd have a problem. I was like, all right, well, that's, I guess, good news. She said, like, they immediately asked me if you were in a bad car wreck or something like that. And I was like, I don't think so. And then, like, just like I couldn't. The only thing I could think of was face planting skiing. I had a few bad ones, but like, and she's like, oh, that's probably it. Anyway, don't worry about it. Like, it's nothing. It just heals, or whatever. I was like, okay, good. I just want to get out of here and not come back for a while, right? And so, about, I don't know, like a year ago, I'm like shuffling through some old photographs from like around the time of COVID. I found one where I pulled my shirt up and I took a picture of just this massive bruise and internal bleeding and whatever. And I remembered what had happened. I had pulled a Joe Biden, and I was so drunk. I was going to get the mail, and I fell going up the stairs. And those are like concrete stairs out there. And I just went wham on my chest. And I remember I was like, sucking wind, like, oh, whatever. And I think I thought I bruised a rib, which I probably did. Anyway, so I Joe Biden'd it. That solved that mystery. Anyway, I wasn't planning on talking about all this shit today, but anyway, it's coming out. Anyway, with this thrombocytopenia, it's definitely getting better, a little bit better every day, a little bit better, a little bit better. But shoot me with a fucking steroid already, will you? Don't make it wait 2 weeks. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about just real quickly is your emotions when you write. Now, like, I'm writing this new story. It's sort of a new series. I call it The Meatheads. I don't know what I'm going to eventually call it. I might just leave that. I don't know. It's these 2 stupid dudes. One's an Italian, Tony, and the other guy's Stan. He's Polish. And these guys have been trying to cut corner. They went to high school together, and they've been they went to grade school together, and they've just been trying to cut corners like since day one, hoping to get rich. So they quit high school and didn't go to college, obviously, and they end up being like early middle-aged losers, and they drive a van for a flower company at present. I read Bingo Night. They're in that. That's their first story. They think if they hold up an elderly home during bingo night, they're going to rake in the cash, right? Because it's a bunch of old people. Anyway, the old people turn on them and do some van damage to them. Anyway, that's going to be like the general thread of the meatheads, whatever stories I bring out for them. And in this new one called Border Crossings right now, Stan gets the bright idea, like, let's drive down to Yuma, park the van in a parking garage, and then cross the border on foot, and then join the thousands upon thousands of people coming in illegally. And then he's like, we get a free cell phone, we get free housing, we get free medical, we get free this, we get free that, and all we got to do is sign on the dotted line to vote Democratic. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? And so like Tony's like, that is the stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life, but I love it. And so they do it. They steal the flower van and they go south to Yuma. Okay, so that's where I'm at. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is when I'm writing stories like these, I just end up laughing out loud, or I'll be like, ooh, or whatever the emotion is. It'll just come out of me, because I'm entertaining myself when I'm doing this stuff. It's the same like when I'm watching like a program I'm really into, like say The Nick. I mentioned a few days ago. I was rewatching The Nick, and like when the surgeons dig into somebody, it's very graphic. I'm like, oh, or something like that. And it means like I'm really into it. Or if I'm reading something that's really singing to me, I'll do the same thing. I'll laugh, or I'll cringe, or I'll say, ooh, I'm very emotive like that. If I'm writing something or reading something or watching something and I'm not doing any of that stuff, chances are it sucks. At least it sucks for me. Maybe it won't suck for you or the general public, but it sucks for me. And I know this isn't like the best business acumen advice in the world, and I don't give business advice. This is financial advice only. Financial. Oh my God. Take two. This is entertainment only. This is the worst business, but it is the worst business acumen advice, for a freelance writer, fiction writer, whatever. Write what pleases yourself, write what you like. I've said it 1,000 times before. Maybe there's something you should write that you think you should be writing, that'll please people or whatever. But like, I really don't care. I get so many stories in me, such a big backlog that like, I really don't care. The money will come later. Sometimes it comes now, but sometimes it comes later. Like right now, like my sales are way down the past couple of days. I shouldn't even be looking at a couple of days. That's like a microscopic, way to look at things, because I'm doing no advertising right now whatsoever, not zero zip. And I'm just not willing to put the money into it at the end of the month, especially now that the year's over. So, but the money will come later on. I'm just concentrating right now. I'm putting out books. Some of them, a few of them traditionally still, but independently, I'm going crazy. I'm going hog wild, as the farmers would say. Anyway, if you're not like laughing or cringing or just generally sounding crazy when you're writing a story, there's probably something either wrong with it or you or both. That's all I got to say. Nothing much else. I think I have to send him an email, but I do think I have Christian Barter still for Friday at happy hour. We could pop a top. And he's a cool dude. Boy, oh boy. that we used to get in some serious trouble in writing school. Have I mentioned this before? But like when we'd line up, it was like the New England Culinary Institute used to feed us, right? And they took it very seriously. And I'm not knocking them; they did a great job. They did an awesome job, and the food was spectacular, no question about it. But they would write the day's menu on a whiteboard, and like Bart and I always being always starving, right? You know, we'd be first in line, right? And I remember once they're having Tostitos, and I changed it to Testies outside, you know, and we're like in our late 20s and cracking up like school kids. And like people are lining up behind us on the staircase, you know, and they're like, Testies? Like, well, you know, they do serve bull testes and like down south and in Mexico. And like, oh my God. So like I did this a bunch of times. Like once I fixed something so it said shit. Oh my God. And that was when finally I'm just gonna put on the chat just to see if anything's right. Oh, I do have some people. Hey, Big Philly. Finally, that's when the dean of the school waited until everybody was in the cafeteria or whatever. And he's like, I have an announcement to make. Whoever is messing around with the menu board, Mr. Zandri, it has to stop now. And then they eventually asked me to live off campus, which, you know, I was like, promise? You know? Anyway, I'm going on and on and on today. But, all right. Big Philly, what do you got to say, man? I need my eyes. These videos motivate me to write daily. Moonlight! Well, I'm glad, Big Philly. That's what it's all about. That's what it is all about. Don't be like me. Get them out there, though. I'm doing my best. All right. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, probably. What's tomorrow? Wednesday already? So ciao, ciao.